Alright, so I've been running into a lot of Giratina Darkrai decks, so I wanted to give this Meowscarada deck a try to counter them. It includes 2 Sprigatito and Florigato, and 2 Meowscarada, and then a Rowlet and a Decidueye, plus 2 Pokeballs, 1 Pokemon Communications, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Giant Cape, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Erica, 1 Iono, and 1 Lily. So I have had some success with it already, so let's see if we can reproduce that. And in this first game we are not against a Darkrai Giratina deck, but a Solgaleo deck. And we start with a Sprigatito and we have a Florigato in our hand. Okay, so there we have a Rowlet, that's really lovely. Do like having Rowlet very early on in the game. And a Pokemon Communications is also not too bad. Let's give a Giant Cape to Sprigatito. So that it can actually survive a turn, and Pokemon Communications, I'm not gonna use it yet. Alright, so he gives it a Rocky Helmet, so that's gonna be 50 damage. I can use Cry for help. And I could heal with a Erica if I wanted to. We do have a Rare Candy, so let's see if we maybe draw something. No, not really. We could Pokemon Communications or Sprigatito. So we at least get either a Meowscarada or a Decidueye. Okay, so we do get a Decidueye. And we can also play it with a Rare Candy, so let's do that. So there we go. And then let's Pokeball our Sprigatito back. And use... play it on the bench. And try get our other Sprigatito maybe in our hand again. We get... Let's see, how much HP do we have? We have 80, so... We lost 50. This guy has only 90. I mean, he can survive one more turn, so it should be okay. Let's hope it is the case, though. Alright, so he is not okay because he uses Giovanni. So I should have been more safe and actually just put it in my bench. So yeah, that's a lesson learned. And now we just play the Decidueye and try get some energy on this guy. Iono is not really needed here. So he has a pretty shitty hand, he doesn't have a Cosmog. So using Iono would only maybe give him what he needs. Alright, so that's another energy on his Skarmory. He still hasn't played a tool on his other guy yet. Which is maybe a good sign, maybe he's just holding it back. Scared for a Guzma, which I should also say is a good thing to be scared of. And then we used Decidueye's Razor Leaf to at least knock out one of the Skarmory. Alright, so there is the Cosmog. I would love a Sabrina here. Alright, he uses a tool, so he's gonna do 50 damage. And if he has a Rare Candy Solgaleo, we're pretty screwed. Because we only need to take 120, so what we could do is Iono. I think what we are gonna do here is Rare Candy Meowscarada. And then swap our Decidueye in with the Meowscarada. Because we can't actually knock out his Skarmory. And maybe he has a Solgaleo, at least I think he might have a Solgaleo here. So then that would be a guaranteed loss, right? So in case he does have Solgaleo, I think it is better to retreat, at least have somewhat of a chance, and let Iono to try to disrupt his hand a little bit. We could also take a risk here, because we Iono'd. Not sure, he hasn't used a single rare candy. I'm not sure what to do. Let's take a risk. So that's 80 damage. Alright, so he plays a Rocky Helmet, so that means he doesn't have Rare Candy Solgaleo yet, right? Alright, seems like he doesn't, which is great. We only have 50 HP left though, so he only needs one good draw basically. Let's now swap into Meowscarada, because our Decidueye is then a little bit more safe. He could still be summoned with a Cyrus, but our 60 damage from Meowscarada is gonna knock out his Karmory, and it would be able to survive one attack from a Solgaleo. Alright, let's see if he draws what he needs. He doesn't, so that's a win. That's a first win. Alright, this second game is going to be a little bit rougher because we are against a fire type deck. A Charmander is being played at first, so who knows, maybe we can get a little bit lucky. We kind of need a rare candy at least. Oh wow, he plays Pokédex. I have not seen anyone play Pokédex before. So he looked at the top 3 cards of his deck. I think that's what it does, right? Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Yeah, that's basically all it does. Not a whole lot. Okay. Let's put a cape on Sprigatito and use for help. Who knows? At least we should get Rowlet, right? No, we got a Meowscarada. Alright, here comes the Charizard. So yeah, this game is pretty much over now. He has his Charizard on the second turn, and if you don't have a rare candy yourself, you are pretty much done for. So maybe we get the one here. No. Nope. So yeah, we are pretty much done here. I don't think I mean, we can try, but yeah, there isn't really that much to do. Yeah, the Decidueye. He is just gonna Steam Artillery both our Sprigatito, and then that's it. Even drawing a Meowscarada here is not gonna really help us that much. We would at least need a Rowlet and another rare candy as well. And we don't get a rare candy or a Rowlet. Nope. We could only get a Rowlet, so let's concede. Alright, we are against hopefully or probably a Darkrai Giratina deck, I think. So that is kind of what this deck was made for. Yep, there is the Darkrai. So let's see if we can do a little bit of damage to this guy. We have drawn a Pokeball. Well, that doesn't really do anything since we already have everything. Let's put a Giant Cape on our Sprigatito and let's draw a Decidueye or a Meowscarada here. We really need a rare candy. Oh, we have also a Florigato, of course, yes. Alright, so let's play Professor Research in case we get a rare candy. No rare candy. I am gonna Pokemon Communications into a Decidueye here, since that is the only other option that we can get. And let's then play Florigato, and I think we can deal some damage here. We will take another 20, but at least this guy is taking 60 as well, so next turn we could Meowscarada and knock it out. Alright, he heals at 430, but it should still be okay. Our Meowscarada deals like, how much? Like, 150 with the effectiveness. Alright, so he uses Nightmare Aura again, and that's it. Alright, And we get a rare candy, so we can get a Decidueye as well. Now we're pretty good. Let's put an energy there, and then Meowscarada, and that will knock out the Darkrai. We're left with 80 HP, so that's still pretty nice. Here we go. Alright, he plays his other Darkrai, which I am able to one-shot with my Meowscarada if I want to. If I can. We would need a... okay, he refuses to play anymore, so okay. We take the win. Okay, let's go Sprigatito here. We're against a go late deck, I think. Let's Professor's Research. Okay, let's not use Erica, let's Professor's Research. Iono Meowscarada. Alright, so we are gonna use our rare candy to get Meowscarada here. And then that is able to give us a bit of extra damage. Let's also put a giant cape here. And we can play the Pokeball to get our other Sprigatito. So here we go, let's play this guy as well, and then we can do 60. Not too bad yet. Okay, so he puts in his Cranidos, not sure why exactly. He could have done 90 damage, okay. Let's see, we could maybe... well, we can't do a whole lot here actually. We are gonna use Erica to heal at least, and then play our Florigato and use an energy on him. And we could draw our other Meowscarada whenever we want with Pokemon Communication, so that should be okay. Alright, we take another 50, and now we get a Lily, so we can heal again. Pretty good. Let's put another energy on the Florigato. We can still use Pokemon Communications, but we're not gonna do that right now. So we knock out the Cranidos, and then we see what he does. And he concedes, so yeah, that's a pretty nice, easy, quick win. Okay, we start with a Rowlet, and we are against a fire type deck, so that is very unfortunate. Especially because we start with a Rowlet and we draw a Meowscarada and a Florigato. Let's use our Pokemon Communications to try and get something else here. Hopefully not another Meowscarada. Okay, there's the Decidueye. Let's also play a giant cape. And there we go. He will now be able to do 50 damage to my Rowlet. So that is a problem. So luckily he doesn't have a rare candy Incineroar yet, otherwise we would have just conceded. And we play Erica here, because otherwise we do lose. And then use a skill dive for another 10 damage on the Litten. Okay, here comes the rare candy Incineroar. So let's concede because this is a lost game. Alright, this time we start with a Sprigatito and we're against a metal type deck, which is obviously a Solgaleo. Okay, Meowscarada is not bad. Another Sprigatito as well, and we can draw our Rowlet or the other Meowscarada that we have. There is Rowlet, okay. So this is not a bad hand, unless he plays red card there. Poison Barb, alright. And Professor's Research. Okay, so we survive one turn. Our Sprigatito is very low already, so let's use Erica to bring him back up to full HP. And then we can Florigato and put an energy on their giant cape as well. So at least we have a little bit of extra HP. And let's play our Rowlet, and then we can do 40 damage. And that's our turn. Alright, so he makes me swap into one of my other Pokemon. Let's play Rowlet here. And we can just retreat it. We have an energy next turn, that shouldn't be a problem. Alright, it deals 50 damage, and then we win the game actually here, I think. Just put an energy here, retreat, Florgato, 40 damage. There we go, we won a game. And we take a little bit of poison, that's fine. I mean, we already won, so doesn't really matter, does it?